Hello friends. So in this session we would be looking at the index and statistics maintenance, right? So let's go ahead. As usual, the agenda would be why index maintenance is needed first of all, then different types of index maintenance script, right? And then I would show you some practical demo also. Okay. So first of all, why index maintenance? See, when it comes to query performance, index and statistics are one of the greatest resource. Like the query performance improves a lot if your index and statistics are up to date at all the times, right? And as you know that index fragmentation level increases with the DML operations over a period of time, right? So with a huge amount of DML operations happening on the tables, so the index fragmentation actually increases a lot, and hence your index and statistics gets out of date, and that's where you need to perform on regular basis. You need to perform index and statistics maintenance. Now this video or this demo is not to show you what are indexes and how the fragmentation happens and what is the fragmentations and page splits and all such things, right? Here in this demo I'm going to show you the different ways of maintaining your indexes on regular basis, and so whatever suits on your environment you can use those scripts. Yeah, for this video you can write me or you can message me in the comment box with your email ID. So if you want these scripts, I can surely provide these scripts, as these are very generic in nature. Okay. So before moving to understanding, so basically if everybody knows, right? So whenever you create an index, like index is created, and at the same time statistics are also created related to that index, and there is one more statistics called as a column statistics. Now these are the statistics for which the index is not present, right? So this in this many ways, you can have your index activity be done, right? Depending upon the volume of the database, volume of the tables, and what you can say, the frequency of tables getting updated, right? So the first one is index. You reindex everything, right? That is with a rebuild. So this is the activity when when your volume is very low. So for example, I can say that if your index rebuild is getting completed within 10-15 minutes, then I think I we should not mind of going for rebuild or reorganize and all such things. Just simply blankly reindex everything on daily basis to keep your databases, your tables, your indexes updated at all the times, right? But when you fire an index all with rebuild, your index and relate the statistics related to that index would get updated immediately. Both would get updated, but your column statistics would not. Right, so you don't have to when you do a rebuild, you don't have to update the index differently and then statistics differently, because it actually when you do this, the statistics these are also rebuild. Statistics are also rebuild. Okay, then alter index reorg. This is where instead of rebuild you do the reorganization, right? Reorganize your indexes. So in this case, index and statistics, like statistics are not also updated, and columns statistics are also not updated. Then individually you can this is like the first option is like in reindexing all the indexes on a table. On this, the third option is indexing a specific index on a table, right? So in this case, stats related with that specified index gets updated, and but your column statistic doesn't get updated. Then there is a dbcc db reindex command. If you run that, then your index, their statistics and column statistics both would get updated, right? If you update the statistics with table name with full scan, then index and statistics and column stats would get updated. If you update a statistics with table name with full scan, and if you give an option only index, then your index and your statistics related to index would get updated, but your column statistics would not get updated. If you fire a statement, update statistics with table name with full scan and only columns, then your stats related to index would not get updated, but stats related to column would get updated. And then last is SP update stats option, wherein the index, its statistics and column and their stats would get updated by default, right? Now, any of the option you can choose depending upon, your requirement, depending on the, as I earlier told you, the depending upon the volume of the table and the time taken by the reindexing activity, right? But the fourth option that is DBCC, DB reindex and SP update stats, right? Uh, they are basically very good, options to reindex everything, but then they are, you cannot control them. The rest of the thing in rest of the thing you can control that which index need to be rebuild and reorganize and all such things, but within this DB reindex and SP update stats you cannot control anything. Okay, and that's where they are very though they are very good features or good availability of reindexing the index and stats, but they are very randomly used. Okay. The various ways as I told you is you can just simply reindex all the index and column stats on the table. The first one, you can reindex them based on the fragmentation levels. Now there is, not exactly the thumb of rule, but widely used rule is that, if your index fragmentation is less than, 5%, right? Then you don't have to do anything. If your fragmentation level is between 5 and 30, then you reorganize the index. And if your fragmentation is above 30, then you rebuild the index. Okay. Then there is a one more option with sys index called as a row mode counter. Now, you can actually reindex based on row mode counter. Now, this value of this column would get incremented by, the number whenever the records in that table with that statistics or index gets inserted or updated. So for every insert update, this row mode counter would get, change or incremented. I would show you in the demo as well. Then, as I told you, DBCC reindex and then SP update set. So these are the five ways in which you can actually reindex the index on the tables. So yeah, as usual, let us have the demo and I would show you. So this is my demo environment, right? Let me first create the tables and let me, of course, I know that you know that what are indexes and what are the stats, but if somebody doesn't know, then let us first, understand that what are the stats and what are the column statistics and what are the index statistics. So here I have created one table. I have created one non-clustered index on that table for employee name and I have inserted some values and then I have updated some values, right? So when we refresh this and when we see this, so on under table under employee table under index you can see because the primary key was given, so this is my clustered index and this is non-clustered index and you can see the statistics are actually created. Right. So one with NC employee, so this statistics is related to the non-clustered index. This stats is related to this primary key that is clustered index, and this is the stats called as the column stats, which is auto created. Why this got created? Because we didn't had index on that column. You can see here when I fire this department name is equal to DN3, it got actually created automatically. Right? When I double click this, you can see department name. It is created with department name. So this column statistics will always get generated where you have this equality operator into used into that where clause. And if SQL engine doesn't find the index related to that, then those column statistics would get created, right? So currently you can see here we have one non-clustered index, one clustered index, and one column stats index, right? And we would be using this environment for all to show you all the types. So now let us go for the first index, right? So if you can see here, this script is written in a dynamic way. When I say, I have used two variables, alter database, and then I'm passing value one. So if I say one, then it would actually, iterate through all the databases on that instance. And then under those databases, it will actually iterate to all the tables, it would find the index and stat, and then it would, actually rebuild the indexes and rebuild the statistics. Okay. If you make this zero, right, and if you give the comma separate, for example, there are hundreds of databases if you need only two or three database which need to be, should be the part of this index maintenance, then you can actually put this in a comma separated. A database name as a comma separated into this variable database list, and then it would get iterated only for those databases, right? So let me show you first demo for one. Okay, and then it is very simple. The script is very simple. If I say one, then what I'm doing from the sys databases, I'm putting that into this table database list, and then I'm iterating initially for whatever database are generated, and then under that database, right, I'm getting getting the table names, and then a very simple statement called as alter index all, and then database the schema name, a database name, and then rebuild. Okay, so alter index all on a database name, schema name, and table name, and then rebuild. And then same way update statistics. I would show you the syntax also. Update statistics, again the database name, schema name, and table name with full scan. And here I'm just specifying column, because when you fire this statement, then what would happen? It would reindex, rebuild this index, and it would rebuild these stats also. Right, so again, we don't need to update these stats, because they would get already rebuilt with this statement. So here, hence, we are specifying only columns. Okay, so this way we keep iterating. So if I execute this, right, let me execute this. And now you can see on my environment there are two demos, two databases, AdventureWorks 2019 and Index demo. So we got the list of two databases. So I am iterating one by one, and then again in within that databases I am iterating through different tables. So you can see here in AdventureWorks 2019 I am having 73 tables, and in Index demo I am having only one table. And when we go to the message tab, you can see here, so this is the syntax alter index all, which means what? It will actually index all the indexes. It will it will rebuild all the indexes on this table, right? And the second statement, as we said, update statistics on this table with full scan, but only update column statistics and not an index statistics, right? So this way it will iterate through all the tables onto the database, and it would reindex or rebuild, right, the statistics. Okay, so this was very simple one, uh, uh, very simple script, but it is very useful. And if you have a very, very like low load, and if you are reindexing just completes within the 10 to 15 minute of maintenance window, then I think I would suggest, then instead of getting the fragmentation level and getting into those details, it is ideal that you reindex everything on all the days, right? The next portion is index maintenance through fragmentation level, right? Okay, so as I told you, it's not a very thumbs up rule, but widely used is that if it is less than 5, then nothing to be done. If it is between 5 and 30, then do a reorganize, and if it is the level is fragmentation level is greater than 30, then actually rebuild, not reindex. This is rebuild. Okay, this fragmentation level you will get, I have written a script where, I'm joining the sys object tables and index tables and partitions and everything. The main table is called as index physical stats. So with this DMV, right, DB underscore index underscore physical stats, and when you will say detailed, it is there is a sampled also, and this is detailed. So from this, you will get the fragmentation level, fragmentation percentage of that table of that index, right? Whatever indexes are there on the table, we will get the fragmentation percentage. And then as we saw, depending upon this fragmentation percentage, you can either rebuild. So, here I have already written a formula that if it is greater than 30, then you can see for all greater than 30, it is showing the action as rebuild, right? And this is 28, so it is showing me action as reorganize. Okay, and then it's very simple. The same way again, I actually generated this table into temporary table, and then I'm iterating through this, and then I'm forming such statements like alter index. Here you can see we are specifying the index name on, again, database name, schema name, object name, and then if it is index clustered, if it is clustered, then again we will have to rebuild with fill factor 100. If it is not clustered, and if it is non-clustered, and if action is rebuild, then we will do a rebuild with fill factor, whatever fill factor. Here, sorry, here I have specified 80%, right? But we can use whatever fill factor has been actually provided while generating an index. Okay, and if it is not a rebuild activity, then we can say alter index, index name, a database name on what? On database name, schema name, object name, and then we would say reorganize. Simple. And this is only for the index. Similarly, we need to generate the column stats also, and then we would just say update statistics. Here also see, because when you do a rebuild and not reorganize, but when you do a rebuild, then those stats would get generated automatically, right? So here also we would specify only columns. Okay, so here what I'm doing, I'm using AdventureWorks 2019 because we don't have much, data onto my employee table on this demo database. So just to show you, I'm executing this on AdventureWorks 2019. It would take a little bit time because because of this, so detailed level of information is a fetch from the physical states, and hence it takes some times. When your database is very huge, then it would take much more time, and that's where I say, we if your maintenance window is very high, then only go through this route. And again, just check the different available options for this index physical states to get the fragmentation percentage. Right. So as I told you, two tables, one for index, rebuild and reorganize, and one for this. This is for update statistics. Okay. So now you can see here like 100, rebuild, and then again a reorganize. So you can see here there are more reorganize also here. So all 11 percentage, okay, and these are reorganized different indexes on different tables. And this is my stats. That is, these are or my column stats. Okay, and the statements like are generated like you can see here alter index and then index name as I told you, and on what? Then database name, database name, a table name, and this is my sorry, this is my database, this is my schema, and this is my table. And then rebuild, whatever the action was generated, either rebuild, and there should be some action with reorganize. So if you can see here, this is with reorganize. Okay, see all this, these are all with reorganize, organizing. Okay, and similarly, this update statistics with all with the option as columns. So this is with the third option. The fourth option, the second option. The third option, as I told you, is with the row mode counter. So when within this sys indexes table, we get this row mode counter column, and which keeps the track of whatever insert updates are happening. So again, let me rebuild this. Okay, and this is also very simple. What we are saying, what we are finding, just joining sys index, sys objects and schemas, and then we are just finding the column or the number of rows or the number of the data where my row mode counter is greater than 0. And in my first case, I am not saying like not like WA percentage, which means I don't want the column statistics, right? And in my second query, I am saying that SI name is equal to rest of the query would almost remain the same, but I'm saying that please select the data with my SI name, that is index name as my statistics. So these are all my column statistics. Okay. And then here we are saying with full scan with no no recompute. Okay, let me execute this on my index demo, and you can see here. See here, as due to this DML operation, basically you can see this row mode counter, right? For this index it was 3, and for this also it was 3, and for stats also it was 3. Okay, and then it would actually generate this statement, that is alter index employee rebuild alter index again employee. Here this is my prime clustered index, this is my non-clustered index, and this is my statistics, all this. Okay, so this is my third option again. Okay, right? And as I told you, this is with the help of row mode counter. Okay. Now, if you run this again, for example, then you can see because they got reindexed, now we don't have any row mode counter because it got actually set back to zero. Because whatever was altered, the data was altered into this table, we actually reindex both the index and stat, the column stats, and hence it is now showing me zero. If I again do this, then it will again show me this values, if I can see here, right? So this was with row mode counter. This is very helpful, right? So with this, again you can have the filters like only the row modification counter, which has the updated or the values more than 500 rows, only index those. So this is very controlled, and you can keep filters and everything in this case, right? Then this is with DB reindex. Now this is very very simple. Just I'm joining sys objects and six schemas table, and getting the data for schema name and table name. So all the table name under that instance or that database, and then I'm just I'm generating the statement here itself, that dbcc db reindex, and what to reindex. So my table, and that's where it would get reindex. Okay, so when I execute this, you can see here dbcc db reindex, but now you can see here again here, depending upon the table and everything, you can see here the fill factor always 80. Otherwise you will have to write again, you will have to filter the different tables, or because here there is no option of index, providing the index name or something like that, right? And hence this is not widely used. Okay, but otherwise it is very very useful, very small script. You can see, just get the table information, and then use this dbcc db reindex, and that's it, it is done. Okay, and similarly, this is far much better in terms of writing the code. Just execute this sp update stats, and everything would get updated. So if I if I execute this on AdventureWorks 2019, then you can see here update. It is updating everything. But here also we don't have much control on what to index, what to reindex, and how to update the stats and everything, and hence these are not widely used, right? So this was really, in different ways, for the different purposes you can use. It's not that, always you will have to go by the fragmentation. You can go by row mode counter. Sometimes, depending upon the environment and depending upon the volume of your tables or indexes, you can choose whatever, is better for you, right? Okay, so this was a demo for the different ways you can actually reindex your tables, sorry, indexes on your tables. Hope you have liked it and understood it. So please leave a comment if you want any of this script for further testing analysis and using in your environment. Right, don't forget to subscribe my channel and share these videos with your colleagues and friends, so that everyone can benefit from it. So yep, that's it for today. Meet you with the next good topic next time. Till then, bye, take care.